Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Aggie Pridecast. This is our show where we bring to you some of our the important people within athletics that surround athletics, that support athletics, all of those things, so that you can get to know what makes us tick, what makes us go. And tonight, I am super excited. I am your host, Brian Holloway, and my guest tonight is Santana Baker, and she is all everything. Let me tell you about this super fantastic young lady. She is the president of the Student Athlete Advisory Council. And she's going to explain to you what all that means as we get into this interview. But it's a very important organization throughout the country, not just at North Carolina A&T State University. She is also on the cheerleading squad. So we're talking to a national champion. And so that is super exciting for us as well. We're going to get into that as well because that is coming up in Daytona Beach pretty soon. And so she's going to tell us all about that. And then we have the athletics banquet, the ESPYs that are coming up. And we're going to talk about that because we have a new host this year. So we'll get into that as well. So Santana, welcome to the Aggie Pridecast. How are you doing today?
Hello, Mr. Holloway. I am doing fantastic, better as ever, living this life. Happy to be here.
Outstanding. So let's get to know you just a little bit. Tell us where you're from and tell us kind of how you got into the cheerleading game.
So, hi guys, my name is Santana Baker. I am a senior biology pre-medical student from Greenville, South Carolina. And so how I kind of fell into cheer, it was kind of funny. So I've only been cheering now for about 6 years, but I have a very long gymnastics background. I started when I was 4 and I ended my career going into my 11th, into my junior year of high school. COVID hit. I was sitting at home and I was just like, do I want to spend my last 2 years just kind of working really hard and kind of like not having a social life and things like that? And I think I was like, I think I want to try cheer. I think it's time to hang up the grips and put up the leotards and put on some cheer shoes and shake some palms. So here we are now.
That is fascinating. That you have a gymnastics background. How much does that come into play when you're cheering, especially when you're competing at some of these competitions?
Honestly, it wasn't that bad of a transition. I think it was just more, I think the hardest thing was adjusting to wearing shoes and tumbling. I can tumble all day, all night, but when it came to me tumbling in shoes, I was just like, I need to feel the mat. So adjusting to that kind of took a moment. However, when it came to transitioning over, honestly, tumbling wasn't hard for me. I just learning how to actually jump as a cheerleader was a little bit different, but it wasn't too bad. I think the biggest thing was stunting, but thankfully I was one of the taller people on my team, so I ended up being a back spot. But now I'm kind of one of the shorter back spots on our team now. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's right because I met you the other night. You're kind of tall for a gymnast, you know.
Yeah, I didn't get this my mom's height. Sadly, I got my dad's height, 5'3", 95% leg, 5% body. So
Okay. So tell me a little bit about biology major. Are we looking at Dr. Baker? Is that kind of where we're headed? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, yes, Dr. Baker incoming soon. So yes, bio pre-med. I've been a science girl, been a nerd all my life. All I do is ask questions and want to know how things work and how they connect to everyday life. Medicine kind of came about middle school-ish. I'm the baby of 5, and my older sister, I was there for all 4 of her pregnancies. And so I knew I wanted to go into medicine. I just didn't know what specifically until I was there for all 4 of her kids' journeys. And her last kid she had, I ended up cutting his umbilical cord. And after that, I was like, I think I want to be, BGYN. So looked up how to do things like that, talked to a bunch of medical professionals in high school, got to college, pre-med. And so now we're looking at taking a gap year, working in a hospital and beefing up my resume, my application for medical school. And after that, go to medical school and get that DR.
Yeah. So what's the journey? So it's medical school, and then it's intern, and then it's resident, and then eventually it's attendee when you're like 50 or something, right?
Yeah, so it's a long journey. It's a long journey. We got 4 years medical school, 4 more years of residency, and then if you're trying to specialize in anything, you're gonna obviously you're gonna have to do like a fellowship. So I'm gonna specialize in women's health, basically, so gynecology and obstetrician. So I'll have like 2 to 4 years more. So I'll be in school for 12 years in total, just learning. So it's a
That's
long journey.
good.
I'm waiting. I'm really excited.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good to have a doctor in the family, the A&T family, and certainly we are rooting for you. So let's talk a little bit about kind of what you're doing right now. Let's get into a little bit. I just want to get explore SAC a little bit because this is an organization that is not only on our campus but it's throughout many of the other campuses that hold college athletics and just kind of what is the main thrust of kind of why this was put together and why it's so important to North Carolina A&T Athletics and other athletics departments across our country.
Yeah, so the Student Athlete Advisory Committee is basically a committee with student athletes. Mr. Curtis Canty and Mr. Earl Hilton are our advisors, of course. So basically, the overall aspect of it is supposed to be a chance for student athletes to advocate, reach out, and kind of be that support system for the body of student athletes, as well as bridge the gap between our student body and our student athlete body, because at the end of the day, we're all students and we all want to be heard and we all want the opportunities. I know for my past 2 years being here, a lot of what we've wanted to do was do a lot of professional development and professional growth, because obviously a lot of us, once we graduate, we're not going to continue our sports. Or I mean, some will continue their sports. However, some people aren't going to be able to continue it, forever. So the goal is to have something more than just your sport, whether that's building a career, getting an internship, securing a job before you graduate. That's been our goal. So we worked a lot with the Office of Career Services. We've even got the opportunity to go to the career fair an hour early just to give athletes that time to get there before it gets busy and gets crowded, and they can really take that time to have that intimate moment with each employer or each company that comes. On top of that, also, it's a great way to just merge our sports. I think sometimes we're all in our own little bubble with our sports, but I think it's a great way to kind of learn from each other, get to know each other, and really see the similarities that we kind of have between each other as well. I know for me, I am a loud mouth. I'm a loud mouth, and I love
Got to
sack.
be a better word than that.
Maybe I'll say I'm very bold. I'm a bold person. I never meet
Okay.
a stranger. I'm never scared to address something that either upsets me or I don't understand, and I kind of want some more clarity on it. So I try my best to, hear everybody's concerns out and try to figure out a solution to make them feel better in their sports and make them feel more welcome in their environment as well. Um, SAC is everywhere. SAC is in the CAA. SAC is in the Big South. SAC is in the Big Ten. SAC is everywhere. Clemson has SAC. Everybody has SAC. But I think it's not a lot of people know about it. And so I'm hoping that one day it kind of gets out more, because there's so many opportunities within SAC, not only on the campus level, but even at the regional and state level. So we do have a couple of student athletes that are on the CAA SAC as well. So they're able to help with legislations when it comes to NCAA things, kind of voice their opinions as well. And we have some go-getters and some heavy hitters there as well. I want to say it's Cameron Caldwell and Tibeth as well that's on there. So we have a women's softball and women's tennis that are representing us just as much.
There we go. There we go. Shout out to Cameron. Shout out to Beth. Women's tennis doing very well this
Yes.
season, 6-4. Cameron Caldwell softball, they're doing very well. Just took 2 out of 3 from Hampton. Got a big series coming up in Bowie's Creek this weekend, so we're going to make sure that we're rooting for them. Let me ask you this: what are some of the concerns specific to North Carolina A&T Athletics from some of our student athletes that are coming through SAC? And what do you think some of the larger concerns are across the country from some of our student athletes?
Um, so many things. Obviously, the whole roster changed. So now we're looking at different athletes, how the opportunities that we're going to be able to give, even just high school athletes coming in or walk-ons. So a lot of really good potential students that could be on campus. It's hard for them to become in SAC. I think the biggest thing for us is the resources. It's always going to be resources. Who has the best things? And out of all the HBCUs, I would say we're one of the few HBCUs that are pretty blessed. However, we still have a long way to go, I feel like, when it comes to resources. I've had the opportunity to be on the chair for the AAF, the Aggie Athletic Foundation, and having some of the student athletes come in and kind of speak about what they do, what they don't have, and how they have to make do. It's sad, but at the same time, it almost kind of just gives me like a sense of pride because we are making do with some of the things that we don't have and still producing excellence. And so it's heartbreaking. It is for sure. And it's also eye-opening as well. Like I didn't even realize that our softball team don't even have lights. They don't have lights in their stadium. So it's harder for them to have to, make do late night games. So if they do go into the championships, they can't host night games. Um, Understanding that some athletics, some student athletes don't have practice facilities on campus. And it's also made me almost feel a little bit grateful for my sport because although we're not under NCAA, athletics has been very accommodating and very understanding with cheer and giving us our own place. We have our mats. We have a indoor location with climate control under it as well, and we're able to make do. So I'm just hoping and praying that one day a nice donor with some good money will come and bless the rest of athletics, because if we're already this good with the bare minimum, imagine how great athletics will be when we have the necessities, when we have the resources. Not only will our athletes get better, but we can even pull in even better athletes to soon to come to carry that legacy as well. Also, last
What else?
thing, last thing, I feel like the biggest thing too that I feel like SAC also tries to address is our mental well-being. I've seen a lot more people go to our sports psychologist now. She's done a really good job of checking in on us, things like that, people going to them as well, and understanding that it is a lot being a D1 student athlete. You're carrying athletics as well as your schoolwork, and some of them even work on top of that. So sometimes we don't get that moment or that second to kind of check in within ourselves because we're always on go. And I think sometimes it affects us while whether we're playing our sport, it affects us academically. And I think that's the biggest thing that we also really need to highlight is checking on your athletes. Make sure that they're not burning out. Make sure that they're not, draining themselves, especially our seniors. We got a whole lot going on because now we're trying to graduate on top of that and get a job or figure out what we're going to do professionally. So, yeah, that's everything.
Wow, no doubt question about it. Talking to Santana Baker, president of SAC, on the cheerleading team as well, and glad she is joining us. I guess I should ask you, what is your mental wellness tonight, 1 through 10? Are you doing well? I guess that I need to join in and make sure that I'm taking care of our fellow student athletes there.
I'm doing okay. I won't say I'm doing great, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that I'm perfect. But I'm doing okay. I could be better, but I'm glad that I'm not doing worse. I'm in this limbo right now of just trying to get everything together. I'm trying to figure out where my cap and gown is, make sure I have all my stoles and cords, make sure I got grad shoot set, make sure I have my hair appointment set, nail appointment set, nationals coming up, and just trying to finish out my semester strong, as well as trying to make sure that I show up on time for work every day. It's a lot, but I will say that I'm grateful for it. I'm always on the go type of person, so it's nothing new to me. It's just making sure that I'm taking that time for myself. So I'm okay, and I'm gonna get better.
Outstanding, outstanding. You mentioned some of the concerns. I found it interesting. We live in this new age of college athletics, which is crazy with the NIL and all these other kind of things. But there's still, I think, what I heard you say, well, there's still some student athletes that are in need, and I think everybody thinks that everybody's now is getting big time money, but no, there's still people who are still, in need. How can we better? How can if we talk to our fans who are watching tonight, how can they be better in helping to support our student athletes? I know we got All Aggies All In campaign that is kicking up, but what are some of the things that we can do, not just with money, but just with time and attention to some of these matters?
Support us when we're up, but mostly support us when we're down. I think sometimes when we hit a hard season like football's hitting right now, obviously it's hard to root for a losing team, but at the same time they need our support just as much now as they will once they're up, because team morale is great, but when you have fans that are coming constantly every weekend and you just know that they're not kind of fully there and attentive, it doesn't boost your morale as much. So just making sure that you're coming, you're supporting, even when they don't win, understand that it's more than just them. At the end of the day, we're all somebody's child. We're all somebody's kid. And we're trying to give it our best. We really are. And then obviously alumni, keep reaching out, keep trying to support us, give us your wisdom, be there to support us. we just want support. That's all we're asking for. Just come show up, show out.
How much does social media play in all this? I see the reports about sometimes our student athletes, not just ours, but others across the country, are harassed when they don't do well or the teams don't do well. How much does that play into the health aspect of what we're talking about here tonight in terms of just being able? Your world is different. I mean, your world is a little different in terms of just people's access to you and others. So how does that play? And just kind of what are some of the warnings for folks who, like to get out and criticize?
Um, I will say it does cause a lot of pressure. Good pressure, bad pressure. Um, I'm gonna bring up football for instance. They could have had a tough game on Saturday, and they'll come back in the week of school. You'll see them not even wearing sometimes their own attire because they just don't want to get ridiculed. They want to be able to go to class and just get through class without someone coming up to them being like, "What's going on? Like, what happened to the game?" Da 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 da. And then to see that the comments get shut off on the page because there are people that are either attacking the athletes or even just attacking the coaches, and it's a lot. It affects people mentally. I know for me personally, like even when it comes to our sport, the social media is a lot. Sometimes I'll scroll on Instagram, and I just saw recently someone doing a parlay poll on how we're gonna do this year, and obviously the goal is to always win, but that pressure of constantly winning, it builds up pressure. So it really just also depends on how you rise to the occasion or how you fall to the occasion. But I will say it does play a big benefactor on how athletes feel, how athletes perform, and sometimes it can be a lot.
We're going to get into that national championship in just a second. I just wanted to kind of wrap up here a little bit with Zach in terms of what has been your role as the president of that organization, and how many student athletes are involved with SAC, and if I want to be involved in SAC, how do I go about trying to join?
So as president, I'm basically over the whole e-board. I make sure that I set up meetings for e-board meetings, general body meetings. I'm also head chair member, student athlete chair member for the Aggie Athletic Foundation. I basically kind of voice what's kind of going on in athletics, how they can help us in athletics and things like that. And what we need and what's missing and how we can help and help with them getting more donations, especially with the Aggies All In campaign going on right now. On top of that, I try to make sure that I, reach out to athletes, see how they're doing. If I see them on campus, I'm like, hey, like, how are you? Like, are you doing okay? Things like that. Try to voice their opinions. If I have questions, go to Mr. Canty about it as well. We also partner sometimes with the Office of civic engagement. So basically, we're supposed to be a lead on top of the civic engagement committee, making sure that we're also getting students as well as our student athlete body to vote on top of that. And then for people that are a part of SAC, all the members in athletics, student athletes are all general body members. So when it comes to the e-board, there's 6 of us, including me, and then our 2 people that are sent up to do CAA SAC as well. So it's a total of 8 of us that work cohesively together. And if you would like to help out and would like to support SAC, well, NCAT SAC as well, you can reach out to Mr. Curtis Canty or Mr. Earl Hilton and see how you can best help us.
Shout out to Curtis Canty, big
Thank
time
you.
guy, big time comic book fan. So
Yes.
shout out to shout out to Mr. Canty there, no question about it. Now let's talk because I don't know much about it in terms of what the competition looks like. So
Mhm.
take us through. You guys are 2-time defending NCAA national champions.
Yes.
I don't know if there's any rings involved, um, but take us
Oh,
through. We might need to see that. We might need to see that. But take us through the journey. So you're gonna get on the bus. You're gonna travel down. Kind of what are some of the first steps when you guys get down to the venue?
So we leave bright and early Wednesday morning. We get down to Daytona around like 2 o'clock ish. And so by then, everybody's out there counting. All you hear is 1, 3, 5, 7. like all day. So basically we'll arrive, we'll sit our stuff down, we'll all go get changed, put on our first set of practice gear, and then we'll make our way to the Ocean Center out in that front lawn area. Just to make sure that we're still warmed up, get our bodies warmed up, and get prepared mentally for tomorrow because we'll be heading into day one. So basically what that kind of looks like is we warm up. We warm up with our stunts. We warm up with our pyramid, do straight right basket, and then they'll give us an allotted time to go in because we have a venue room where we go and we warm up. We have, I think this year it's we have two sections. So we have 3 panels and then a full mat. That 3 panels, that's where you get your stunts, your jumps, tumbling, cartwheel tucks, all that over with. And then we go to the full mat, and that's kind of like your last call. Basically, you're doing your last call for tumbling, you're doing your last call for stunt, you're doing your last call for any long running tumble that you couldn't fit on the original mat, and that's your last call for your pyramid. And so once that's over with for that first day, we'll kind of go back. We'll meet back up with each other. We'll get an office room. We'll all chit chat, kind of just talk through what the day is going to look like the next day. We get ourselves mentally prepared, and we do like a visualization moment. So we'll all close our eyes. We'll listen to our music as it's playing. We're not talking as if we were there on the stage. So just get ourselves in that mode. After that, we pray out. Well, obviously, I meant to start. Before we start anything, we always pray in. We pray in, and then we pray out. So once we pray out, we'll all go our separate ways. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go last year due to my injury, but usually what I try to do at nighttime is I'll go by each door and I'll put some oil on the door and I'll pray over each door, pray for, peace of mind, confidence, because it's nerve-wracking. I think I've never gotten so nervous for a competition since I've done gymnastics. And I did all-star cheer in high school my last 2 years, but NCA is a different beast in itself. I was nervous, so all I could do was pray. So I'll go through each room and I'll pray, go to sleep, wake up the next morning. It's almost like the quiet before the storm. And if you're staying in the, I want to say it's the Hilton Oceanfront Daytona Resort Hotel that we stay in, you'll wake up to cheer music. You're going to wake up to cheer music. You're going to wake up to a bunch of 1, 3, 5, 7s again. And it's go time. So thankfully, these past 2 years, I think we're starting a little bit later. So we'll get to walk around a little bit, get to feel the atmosphere. We'll, chit chat, see a bunch of teams go. And then once it's about, I give it 4 hours before we get on. We all go back to our rooms. We're all getting ourselves together. We're getting our makeup on, hair done, uniform on. We're feeling good, making TikToks. We're getting our lunches, getting our snacks, making sure we take out our electrolytes because it is hot in Daytona. We go downstairs. We'll all meet downstairs. We have some gospel music playing. People are getting taped. People are already stretching. And then after that, it's go time. So we'll walk out back to the ocean front, right in that lawn, and we're warming up again. We're praying in first. We're going to pray in, and then we'll warm up. Stunt, pyramid, get all that out the way, straight right baskets, do all that, touch our breath. We'll go inside, and we'll wait to get called so we can warm up. We warm up, we do all that, and then we move to the back. So it's starting to get serious now at this point because we're about to hit the mat. And so I think that's when our emotions are getting high, like the butterflies are butterflying, and you're getting a little nervous. So you hear all the music. We're backstage at this point, and we're kind of just all walking. And so then we all circle up. We give each other our last few pointers, like just make sure y'all go out there, work as a team, do it for God at the end of the day because He's gotten us through a lot, and we've come too close to fall so short. And so then I'll pray us in. Just pray for, peace of mind, grace, poise, confidence, remove anything that isn't of us. We'll pray it in, clap, clap, snap, snap, call it a day. And then I will walk to the front, and while they get themselves together and their minds right. And I'll say my experience for when I touch the mat. So once they call our names, you walk out there and you see absolutely nothing but a mat and a black. It's just black. Because the lights are so bright, but you can hear people. I remember the first year we went to Daytona, and it was day 2, and the crowd was like packed, and I could feel for like 2 seconds. After that, it was a black for me, and so we get set, and once that music's on, it's go time until we hit that mat, and then once we finish, we yell Aggies, and we look like we're not tired, wave, and as soon as we get off that stage, we're all just like, oh my gosh. We're happy, but we're exhausted. But it's such a it's a mixed emotion feeling because you're like excited and tired at the same time. You're trying to celebrate while also trying to catch your breath. But it's like it's super emotional. So that's kind of what it looks like for both days until awards.
Sounds like a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah, and I don't know what 1357s are. So what you got? What is that?
So basically, if you're a cheerleader or a dancer, everything is to count. So we're
Got
getting
you.
set.
Okay.
You're getting set on one. You're tossing the girl on three. It's just to make sure that we're all on time. It's to make sure that everyone's hit each point at a certain number, looking sharp and clean.
Yeah, I watched the routine at the ESPYS last year. It looked very,
Yes.
very coordinated. Like it was almost like this rhythm where you guys were just so in sync and in tune to each other. It looked, I'm not sure totally what I'm looking at, but I do know it looked very in sync and timing was good and all those kind of things. So kudos to you guys. It looked really, really very organized and just very succinct in terms of what you guys were doing.
Yeah. It's nothing but control chaos. That's it.
So how many teams are you guys competing against normally?
So usually it's about 14, including us. So 15. It's about 15. I think the most we might have had is almost 20. But this year, I want to say we're going up against 14 other teams. So it's gonna be a good one.
And what is that usually comprised of? Do you have to qualify for this? Kind of how do they determine who makes the national championship?
So basically, NCAA really starts for us, like the preparations to Daytona starts for us in the summer. So basically, NCAA varsity will have camps. And so every college will go to the camp, and your goal when you go to camp is to get a bid. So whether that's a gold bid, a silver bid, or a bronze bid, but a bid, period, because that's your invitation to nationals. Now, each bid comprises of different benefits. Gold bid is the one that you want because it covers for 5 rooms. It also gives you a discount for registration. It's the most bang for your buck, so that's what you want. And so basically, you go to camp. It's comprised of a rally routine, game day routine. You make the most of it. You learn different skills. You meet people, and you might even be able to become an NCAA staffer. I was invited to be an NCAA staffer. However, I'm ready to tie my shoes up. So I don't know if I'll be continuing that journey. I might come back to it in a bit, but I'm gonna give it a break for now. But once you obtain your bid, basically you'll hold on to that, and then once January hits, registration for NCAA nationals starts. So you'll register for whatever division you're going into, which we're going into the small intermediate co-ed D1 division. And then once you do that, get your rooms, pick your rooms that you want, and bada bing, bada boom, you are registered for NCAA. And so all you have to do is the Daytona.
Outstanding. We're here with two-time national champion Santana Baker. Rumor is she has a ring somewhere in there.
You want me to go get it?
We're good, man. We're good. I totally believe it. I totally believe it. And she is also president of SAC, and so talking and dealing with student athlete issues and student athletes things that they can, we can do to enhance things. So certainly just a certain important part of that. And then we have the Aggie ESPYs who are coming up April 27th. How excited are you about that?
Oh, I'm so excited. I love the SBs, and Catcher loves the SBs because every year we always put it on. We dress to impress every year. And it's so great to just be able to just have a night to just kind of, highlight our athletes, like highlight our athletes' strengths, whether that's academically or athletically. It's just a great time. I have no complaints.
No doubt, no doubt. Went to your meeting the other night, saw some bowlers there. How excited for you or for our bowling team in the NCAA tournament? They start tomorrow, 9 o'clock a.m.
I'm so excited. Our bowling team is I'm hoping that they can take it all the way. I think they're gonna do it. I mean, they're hard workers on and off the what do we call that? Lane? On and
The
off the
lane,
lane.
the alley, yeah.
Lane alley. I don't know, but they're the bomb. They're so good. Like I just don't understand like how someone can be just so good. Like you are back to back to back to back times 10 champions. So, it's only right that they just take it back home. Take it back home.
No question. Rooting for the A&T bowling team. If there was something that about the life of student athletes that you could say that some of us may not know, I know the schedules are hard, but what would that be? If you were kind of educating folks on the life of a student athlete as Madam President of SAC.
Um, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. I don't think we ever really truly get a moment to kind of just breathe for a second. So, sometimes like we can crash. Sometimes some of us are more fortunate, who are in sports and are kind of financially taken care of, which is a nice burden to kind of be taken off of. But some of us aren't. Some of us, are able to, commute to school, and some of us might have to walk. So it's a never ending thing of making sure that we can still balance life as well as our sports. Sometimes we just ask for a little bit of grace. That's all we ask for. We try our best to show up and show out as much as we can, but on the days we fall short, just understand that some of us might have gotten up at 6 a.m. We could have just traveled back and got back to Bryan Fitness Center at 2 a.m. So just give us a little bit of grace. That's all.
What is the main focus of the cheerleading team when you guys walk into a football venue or a basketball venue in terms of just crowd involvement, fan engagement, all of those type of things? What are you trying to do to help those teams be successful?
Be ourselves. We are a team of crazy people. It is so funny to see how I know for me too, how we are when it comes to opponent teams, especially when it comes to basketball season. A few of us are always told to be like, don't antagonize the opponent team. We're gonna try not to do that. But our goal is to obviously, be that morale, even when everyone around us is kind of having, their moment, because we might not be doing good, but it's our job to, uplift the team. Granted, sometimes we do fall short and we're just like, dang, we just missed that. Dang, we just missed that touchdown. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The other team look trash anyway. Like, we're gonna find something else to, hype them up about. And when we are winning, and catcher is gonna show out. You know we're winning. But I will say also, we also try to take the opportunity from our lens. We also take each game day sometimes as the opportunity to perfect our skill, perfect our stunts. I know in previous years we've always used that time to stunt, and yes, those stunts might be showy to you, but that's also kind of our way of figuring out, okay, is this what we're going to add in this stunt? Is this what we're going to add in this stunt? Or okay, we have our stunt now. Let's throw this part of the stunt up and see how it looks. Because if you can hit it in front of this crowd, you're going to be able to hit it at Daytona's mat. So it's like it works cohesively together. It goes hand in hand.
No question about it. Santana Baker with us here tonight on the Aggie Pridecast, filling us in on what it is to what SAC is and what it is to be a student athlete, and also tell us about educate us about cheer, two-time national champions, and that's got to be exciting. What is it like for you guys when you return to campus and you see all the folks cheering and all those kind of things? What is that like for you guys?
It is such a rewarding feeling. It's such a rewarding feeling because we just think of like from where we started to where we are now, and then to see the support sometimes, even when it feels like, we aren't really that supported. So it's really nice to, have those people there for us and showing like, hey, like we saw what you did. Like, we're proud of y'all. The work that you did, it paid off. So this is our gratitude. So it's a feeling unlike no other.
What do you think life would be for you without cheerleading? You're getting ready to graduate. Does that, like you're about to end it? I mean, have you thought about that?
I have, but I don't know. I feel like I am not as emotional as I thought I would be. Obviously, it's sad to let go of athletics because I've been an athlete my whole life. So, the grind of being on go all the time is, the normal. So I think adjusting to not having such a busy athletic schedule is going to be interesting. And I'm kind of excited to see what that looks like. I'm kind of excited to kind of sleep in and not have to worry about putting on a full face. But I'm also kind of worried because I'm kind of nervous of, am I going to gain a lot of weight because I'm not as athletic anymore? But I think it'll be a good one for me because I think I'll be able to mentally prepare, because I feel like I'm going to always be a busy girl. I'm a busybody. I can't stay still. And I think this break is going to be a nice little break, and can't wait to use this on-go mentality for med school. So I'm excited.
Excited for you. Shout out to Daryl Cruz watching us here on the Aggie podcast. Robin Campbell talking a little mental health with us on the chat. So shout out to her. William Partee also with us here tonight. Appreciate everybody watching us here tonight, and Aggie Pride and A&T Interlock, working all of those type things. Talk about your journey here to A&T and why you chose A&T and how proud you are to be an Aggie.
So I'm gonna preface everyone, before I say this, don't get me. So freshman year of high school, you would have thought I wanted to go to Howard. I was dead set on, I want to be a licensed HU, da 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 da. But reality was setting in as I got closer and closer to my senior year, and I was like, undergrad tuition is looking a little like graduate tuition, and I don't think I'd rather be that much in debt. But I do want to go to HBCU. I told my mom, I told my dad, I was like, I love y'all, I love you, mean it, but I gotta go to HBCU. I can't go to PWI. And I knew right then and there I was gonna go out of state because again, I'm from South Carolina, and my dad was like, "You're not applying to SC State. You're not applying to Claflin." And I was like, "All right, thank you," because I didn't want to stay home. So I was kind of looking at HBCUs, and throughout my high school career, A&T has always been thrown at my face. I just never realized that A&T was obviously this A&T, and so my mentor, Latricia German, who is also an Aggie alum and an NCAT cheer alum as well, was talking to me about it, and one of my homegirls talked to me about it. So I was like, okay, do a little research on it. The senior year, and I was cheering at that point, so I was like, okay.
You didn't think we were Atlanta A&T, did you?
No, I don't know what I thought. I don't know what I thought. I was just like, okay, this is a blue and gold HBCU. Like, I was like, okay, like it just like crossed. It just didn't stand out to me. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was doing my research and I saw that NCAT had a cheer team, and I was like, yes, this is perfect. I can cheer here, and I also heard that their biology department was fantastic. So I started doing a little bit of research, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply. So A&T was my first school that I ended up applying for early decision. So applied there, and I was like, I'm gonna hope for the best. I ended up applying to Howard I ended up applying to Hampton as well. And so at that point, I was just waiting to hear back. And at that point, my love for A&T just started growing. I started doing more and more research on it. In November, I ended up taking a tour, and that really was like the biggest turning point for me. Because I remember this clear as day. I was riding in my dad's 2017 or 2019 red Nissan Titan truck up on that exit coming up near the stadium. And as we're pulling
Sullivan Street, yeah.
Yep, Sullivan Street. Yep, I'm pulling up there. And as we're pulling up, Mr. Holloway, it was like a God feeling. Like I started tearing up. And I was like, wow, like this feels like home. And so I was just, cheesing ear to ear. And I was nervous at first because I had just came off of a College of Charleston tour. And I was like, I hated it. It was hot. So I was pulling up here and I was excited. And I ended up going to the admissions office. We're walking around. And when I tell you, I literally like saw myself like walking in the academic quad, walking into the stew, walking into Barnes Hall. And I was just like, yeah, like this is it. I'm stuck. I can't go anywhere else. So we got back in that truck and I looked at my mom, I looked at my dad, I said, I'm going to A&T. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to A&T. So my love for A&T just grew. Like everyone was like, girl, you're not even graduated yet and you're already wearing A&T. I didn't care. I told myself I'm an Aggie. I don't know about y'all, I'm an Aggie. So that was kind of my journey to A&T. And I got here freshman year. As a rookie, I was excited to cheer. I was excited to learn. And interesting enough, my freshman year was actually probably one of my hardest years. It was a shock. It was an academic shock. It was an athletic shock. I don't think people talk enough about how being a high school athlete is completely different from being a D1 athlete, student athlete at that. My GPA was probably the lowest GPA I've ever had in my life. And first semester, I think I ended up with a 2.7 GPA. And although that happened, my life got back on track, and I am proud to say that I am graduating with magna cum laude this spring. And I wouldn't change my experience for the world. I had a lot of ups and downs. I've had a lot of moments that were good and a lot of moments that were bad. But at the end of the day, HBCU life is a life that you can only have for 4 years. So why not choose it? It's great character development, and it's a great way to show your resilience. And I feel like I've been very resilient these 4 years.
Outstanding. With our SAC president, Santana Baker, you are, if you look at the definition of cheerleader in the dictionary, I think you're there. Like you have so much excitement, so much energy. It's hard to keep up with your energy here tonight, but certainly appreciate you joining us, educating us on SAC, educating us on cheerleading, the national championships, which are coming up, and tell us about the dates of the national championships. Can we watch you guys anywhere on the stream? Can we
Yes.
cheer you on? How do we do this thing?
So if you are wanting to know when we compete April. Let me double check before I tell you a story. We compete April 9th through the 10th, which is a Thursday and a Friday. Our first day, day one, we compete at 6:33 p.m. And then the next day is going to be determined on our ranking. So if we are either second or first, we're going to be, well, when we are second or first, we are going to be later in the evening around like 9 o'clock ish. If you would like to stream it online, we are going to be on the varsity's website. So that's at varsity.com. Type in National College Cheer Association, Daytona Nationals, and it is a subscription. So if you would like to splurge a little bit of money to watch us, please do. Hopefully one day, the Stu will put us on the screens there so everyone else can watch us as well. But if that is where you can go and watch us. And we'll keep y'all posted on the times for Friday.
Keep us posted, no doubt about it. Follow you on NCAT Cheer on Instagram. Is that kind of how you guys are going to give us the updates in terms of how you guys are doing? And, we are hoping for a three-peat here. No doubt about it. I hear the routine is really good. I know we can't divulge any of it, but I hear it's a winner. That's what the rumor is. And who puts that together for you guys, or is that something you can divulge?
So it's a little mixture of both. So usually we'll have a choreographer come in, they'll choreograph it, and then throughout the season, sometimes the athletes will come in and kind of tweak some things. When it comes to the stunt, though, the stunt is almost student athlete made with the help of our coaches. Our coaches will come in and be like, okay, maybe try this with this instead, or do that with this instead. Or they'll be like, I want to see this together. I want y'all to play around with it, see what we can come up with. So it's almost a team effort, everyone.
Outstanding. Looking forward to it, and hopefully we can play the routine again at the ESPYs as national champions. Again, the ESPYs April 27th. Santana's going to help us host that, so we're super excited about that. She's got all the, she's got all the personality, so we just kind of have to get the routine down. I'm sure she'll be able to do that, pre-med student. And anything you want to close us out with, anything that we didn't hit upon, shout out to Trav Frayer. This is a great interview. It is a great interview. Shout out to the South Carolina Aggies are jumping in here.
Yes, let's see Aggies. Let's see Aggies. Yes.
No doubt about it. No doubt. So, but anything you want to close us out on?
Just support us. This has been an interesting season this year. I'm really excited to see what God has in store for us. And when we pull this win out, I fear that this win will be almost worth more than even our redemption year win. It's going to be a year of resilience. It's a year of comebacks. It's a year of setbacks. And it's a year of perseverance. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm blessed. I'm blessed for the trials and tribulations we face, because the fruits of our labor is going to be fantastic. So we're going to just thank God.
That's right. Because the first year you guys lost by 0.12.
0.925.
Yeah. Okay.
0.925.
Yeah. Okay. I do remember that. Yeah. And then they came back the next year and they took it, and then they took it the year after that. So no question about it. And we are going to root for them again this year. So one of the top cheerleading programs in the country, and we're proud to have that alongside of us. Santana, you've been awesome. You've been wonderful. Look forward to working with you this month as we get closer and closer to the athletics banquet. And again, support Our Lady Aggies. Also, the brother, some fellows are on the team too. April 9th and 10th. And I hope you have a great night. Hope everybody in Aggie Land has a great night. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Aggie Pride, y'all. Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
Thank y'all.
Good night.
Good night.